Hello, internets.
And interwebs.
As always, I am Scott. I used to be invisible, but then I graduated high school, Carr. And with me, as always, is...
Not bad, actually. Robert. And now, a poem. Ladies, I'm not trying to be thick. You will find I have a very quick wit. When the lights go down and I start going to town, you'll find I have a really huge
ego.
That's fair. James. Nice.
Could you have made that longer?
I could have.
Oh, okay.
But I would have had to add a couple more stanzas to it, maybe more drama. You know, we've got the green. Maybe I'll put like some flashing lights. But anyway.
How about we don't?
Okay.
I think we should not. Anyway, we are two guys who watch movies. And, of course, we are now currently two guys who are talking about movies. Because today we are talking about The Invisible Man.
Except for this is unscripted and mostly harmless. Roll it!
Always got to get that in there, don't you?
What is the name of the show?
Doesn't mean I can't name it something else.
Anyway.
At least I try anyway. So yes, we are talking about The Invisible Man. And it is the most recent Invisible Man because there have been a few movies named that.
Yeah.
So it's important to mention this is the 2020 Invisible Man.
Yes, it is.
Which, 2020 was a horror film all of its own, but this was a horror movie that happened to actually come out in 2020.
Yes. I am going to let you handle the synopsis by all means.
Oh, sure. I have no problem with that.
While I try to stay conscious.
You do that. You try to stay conscious. So, plotline of this one is mostly straightforward. We have a woman who's in a abusive relationship. She runs away from the guy, is very scared of the guy coming after her until she finds out the guy has apparently committed suicide. And for whatever reason, has given her not all of his money, but a rather substantial amount of money, $5 million. And then shortly after that, starts having weird things happening until she comes to the conclusion he has found a way to turn himself invisible and is trying to drive her mad. Would you say that's pretty much the synopsis?
You just summed it up.
Thank you. Of course, yeah, basically it's what is shown in the trailer. In fact, the trailer does go one step further and also mention the fact that he has a stipulation in his will that states that should she be convicted of a crime or found not mentally fit, she loses the money. So that is one other thing that they mention in the trailer that becomes a plot point later on in the film. Are we doing spoilers on this one?
I think you really can't talk about it without doing spoilers, so...
Well, we could try at the beginning, but then we have to go into spoilers.
Yeah, there will be spoilers. If you have any desire to watch this film, and this is not me telling you or recommending it in any way, however... If you have any desire to watch this film, watch it first because it does have a twist.
Yeah, there is a nice twisty ending.
Yes.
Which we are going to spoil. So just to warn you, because we will be talking about it. So
I can show the brand new spoiler.
Ooh.
Right there.
There you go. Brand new spoiler.
The other one was annoying. Too noisy.
Oh, well, it happens. So, yeah, we will be giving away the twist ending. So if you have any interest in seeing the film, please do so. As far as whether or not we recommend the film, because we might as well just we're not going to tell you the rating just yet. We'll at least just give you a general recommend, don't recommend. I personally would say I am actually, spoiler, going to say recommend. However, one thing I would warn people, and this is something I wish someone had warned me before I watched the movie, it is what's best known as a slow burn. A very slow film that is, gradually getting to the climax. Because of this, I did not know about this, and it's difficult to get through a slow burn if you don't expect it. If you're expecting standard-paced film or a fast-paced film, and you start watching a slow movie, oh man, it's tough. So yes, I am recommending this movie, but be forewarned. This is a slow burn, and if you're not expecting it to be a slow movie, you might have a hard time getting through this thing. What would you say?
I am going to say not recommend.
Okay.
And when we get to the bad,
Yeah, we'll explain
We'll-
why.
we'll
So,
understand.
yeah, one of us is recommending, one of us is not recommending. But even with my recommendation, that comes with a caveat of be wary of how slow it is. And I'm going to get more into that as well, because that is going to be mentioned later on. You know, what I mean by that, just how slow it is and stuff like that. But, yeah, that was the thing. If I had known how slow it was, it would have been easier for me to enjoy it. It was actually kind of difficult to get through the beginning portions of it. You know, I actually almost I want to say almost the first half of it. It was a little difficult because of how slow it is. And, well, I'm just going to get more into that later as we get into it. Because as always, we are going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
and let's do the good.
You want to do the good?
Yes.
Roll that good.
Hey, you stole my line.
Had to happen eventually.
Nice. All right.
So you want to start with the good?
Yes.
You want to say some good things?
Oh.
After not recommending the movie, let's have you start
Right.
with the good.
Well, and here I want to prefacate this too with everything I'm going to say. I have to be fair to this film and judge it on the film.
Yeah.
This film was not a fast-paced horror flick. It
No.
was not a teen-kill rom-com.
No.
It
Slow burn.
was a slow burn. And in all fairness to the film and to our audience, it is not my favorite genre.
Yeah. In fact, you the only ones that you pretty much avoid slow burns usually.
At all costs.
Yeah.
I have seen all the Invisible Men up to this.
Yeah.
Invisible Man was a werewolf. I've seen them all. And
Memoirs of Invisible Man.
Memoirs of Invisible Man, yes. And none of them have been like this. So this really caught me off guard.
Did you also see Hollow Man?
No,
Okay. Just kind of curious because
you got me.
Yeah, that was
We'll be reviewing Hollow Man next week.
Kevin Bacon. Hollow Man.
Really?
Kevin Bacon stars as Hollow Man.
7 degrees.
Yep.
All right. But with all that said,
Yeah.
I will say this. Last chance, spoilers.
Yeah.
You've been warned. The twist ending was really good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to actually say the ending now because I'm sure we'll get to that. The deaths when they happened were very realistic. It wasn't over the top.
Yep.
It wasn't Splatterhouse.
Yeah.
You believed when somebody got their throat cut. It was. That's really all I got, man. I hate to do that.
Yeah.
I really want to be fair to this movie to people who like this kind of movie. I don't want to say, I hate it, it was boring. It's.
All right. No, I get it. I got a few good. I thought it was well acted for the most part. There's a couple exceptions which I'm actually going to talk about later when we get into the other portions. But I did like the main actress. I thought she did really well. I know we disagreed with whether or not we thought that she was well written or not, but I think the actress did a great job with what she was given, regardless. And I think she played her part very well. The supporting cast, the father and the daughter, I thought were great. You know, a lot of the supporting cast was good. And then the other characters that I didn't think was so good, I'm going to talk about later. But I did like the acting for the principal characters that we see the most of, to be perfectly honest. It's pretty much her, the father, and the daughter. You see them more than anyone else in this film. So it was important that they are the best actors. And they did do that well. I did like some of the special effects. I really felt like there was an invisible man there attacking them. So I thought that was done well. And I did like the idea of, one, this is not some guy who came up with a formula. This is a guy who comes up with a suit. Because they're trying to add technology to it instead of going the traditional route is always it's chemicals, some kind of chemical that makes you invisible. They decided to go a technological aspect now, where a guy built a suit that's basically all these freaking cameras that are making it appear that it's invisible or whatever. They don't go into the tech too much
at all.
Yeah, I mean, other than saying the guy was a genius at optics, I think they said, right? Yeah, so the guy's a genius in optics, and you see these little things on us. They look like tiny little web cameras. They do. So you get the impression they're supposed to be cameras that are, just causing to look invisible. And I thought that was a neat aspect. The fact that it's about a woman who's in an abusive relationship with this guy who just happens to be a genius who makes a suit and then decides to use it to go and make her crazy because he can't stand the fact that she left him. I thought that was a rather neat idea, too. So I agree with the plot that they came up with and stuff like that. And I thought generally the movie was well done. With some exceptions that, once again, I'll be mentioning in the other sections. But as you can guess, the fact that I'm recommending it, I did enjoy the film. I really loved the twist. I even said as soon as we watched it, it's like I felt that redeemed certain parts that I didn't care for. And that's the whole reason I'm recommending it, which sadly, there are films out there that the twist will make or break a film. It can, I don't really like recommending films just for a twist.
Are they films that generally have a writer and a critic in them? And made by Shyamalan?
No.
Because every one of his films has a twist, and everyone has a writer and a critic.
There you go. But I don't really like recommending films that I feel that without the twist it wasn't a good film. But this one I think was still a good film even without the twist. I just think the twist really cemented that, and it improved some of basically. I'm going to be giving it a slightly higher rating because of that twist. That's what I'm coming down to. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have been rating it lower. But I still think I would have recommended it because I think it's a good movie. But it's not, in my opinion, the type of movie that you watch more than once. It's the kind of film, which this sadly happens with a lot of movies with good twists at the end. Some of the twists, depending on what the twist is, warrants multiple views. Other movies, the twist is good because you didn't see it coming or you weren't expecting it, and that doesn't warrant multiple views. This is the type of movie that it's kind of a one shot. You watch it once. I don't really feel the need to see it again. Another movie that I thought was really good that I don't plan on ever seeing again, Joker. I love that movie, but I don't have any want to see that again. But it was a really good movie, and I would recommend it to people, but I wouldn't watch it again. So I think that's about it, because my good is very broad categories. Like I said, the acting, the plot line in general, how it was made. These are very broad things. And I'd love to go into more detail, but I mean, it is just, there's a lot of good, I feel. So I'm very happy with a lot of those things. But I think that's about it. That's about all I can say. So I think I praised enough.
Okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to roll the bad video, and then when the people come back, the computer will be plugged in, the camera will be recentered, and this shadow right here will be gone. So get ready for the bad. And it is hard to keep this category short, so I'm going to let you go first. And then I'll come in.
And then you'll just rant for an hour. And then we'll eventually get to the ugly, right?
Right.
Okay,
right.
Good to know.
Yes, that's the plan.
Okay, so my bad, I hate to say it, is the villain. You notice I didn't mention anything about the villain in the good.
No, not a word.
Yeah. Here's the thing. This is tough because it's the Invisible Man. being the Invisible Man, you shouldn't see him.
True.
Guess what? You don't see him
At all.
Yeah, the biggest problem with the villain in this is that he's in the film so little. Just not literally. He's in the movie quite a bit, but you don't see him, you don't hear him. He doesn't talk until practically the end. And they're doing this on purpose. One, for the suspense. And for the suspense, yes, it works. Because after all, he's trying to make her think she's crazy. Now, we as an audience know she's not crazy because we went to a movie called The Invisible Man. We didn't go to a movie about the woman who may possibly be seeing an invisible man or may actually be going crazy. No, we went to a movie called The Invisible Man. They show you in the trailer there's an invisible man.
Yes.
Now, if they had done it differently where it was like trying to make you believe it's all in her head and that there is no invisible man, that would be different. But I never got that impression. You know, I always got the impression that, yes, he most certainly is doing something. And even at the beginning of the film, when she's leaving him, there is the spot where the invisible suit is being held.
Yes.
You know, it looks like there's nothing there, you know. And as soon as I saw it, it's like, well, there's the invisible suit. Didn't I say that? I think I said that. Like, well, there's the invisible suit.
Because it had, like, clamps.
Yeah, it's clamps.
It was clearly clamping something.
It looks like it's clamping something, but there's nothing there. It's like, well, there's the invisible suit.
There's the suit.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Foreshadow.
Yeah. So the problem is that you've got a guy who isn't seen for the majority of the film. He isn't heard for the majority of the film. The actors, in fact, the actor almost says nothing at the beginning, even when she leaves, because he doesn't catch up to her until after she's gotten in the car. She's getting in a car to leave, and he catches up to them after she gets in the car and yells some nonsense at her that you can't even catch that well. I mean, I heard it, but you can't catch it that well. It's like, you can't leave me or whatever.
He screams, and punches the window.
Yeah, exactly. But after that, you don't really hear this guy until the end. The problem is that because you have so little screen time with him, I'm not impressed with the villain. You know, there's just not enough of him. There's not enough, you know, not enough to even have there almost to critique practically. But what little we did get wasn't memorable.
Yeah.
You know, I can't even remember practically anything he said. It was all creepy. I'm trying to act like I'm nice, but I'm creepy.
That sums it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what it is. Like, you know he's playing games with her. You know what he's all about. You know what he's up to. The twist, the reason why I said, even when we heard him, we didn't hear him. The twist is that we're revealed toward the end that the invisible man that's been stalking her all this time is supposedly not him, but his brother. Because he does talk later on, but it's supposed to be that's the brother talking.
Right.
That's the only time you hear him, and it's supposedly the brother. In fact, the only other time we heard him, he says surprise once, but he whispers it, so you can't really tell. And I believe the actors sound similar, but I couldn't even tell you.
The bad guy, and again, we'll do the actors' names. And we try to keep this unscripted, which means we don't talk about it, we don't research.
Yeah.
So it's not that we're unprofessional, it's not that we're lazy. I don't want to know the backstory of the movie until I've seen it and talked about it.
Yeah.
So the one guy did have an accent of some sort, and his brother did not.
Yeah.
Which is part of my bad, so I don't want to get into too much.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, that was the first twist you get before the final twist, and because of that means you weren't even. That wasn't even him. That was the brother then, you know. And then she's pretty sure that it was him originally, and then the brother took over.
That was my feeling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was him, mm-hmm. And then for whatever reason, the brother stepped in.
Because of that, you get so little of the villain. And my bad is definitely the villain because other than having an invisible guy who doesn't talk, we don't have much. You know, only his brother talked, and that was about it. You know, that's all I can think of at the moment. I might come up with more after you. that was my biggest bad, was the villain.
I'll take the opposite side of that coin then.
Okay.
The heroine.
Okay.
Her story, mm-hmm. her character, mm-hmm. her very existence mm-hmm. is bullshit.
Okay.
She went from being this little timid mouse to barely coming up with the courage to leave this son of a bitch. Which, okay, good on you, girl.
Right. Yes.
But then she has agoraphobia, is unable to leave the house.
Yeah, that's true.
She's so terrified of her own shadow.
Yep.
That, and then she
Right.
becomes this kick-ass warrior that can fight this guy off, and she has the strength to beat him, to be beaten and fight back.
No, you're talking about in the psychiatric ward.
Correct.
You're also talking about after she's hit her lowest low.
Bullshit. This happened in the span of 3 or 4 weeks. She went from timid mouse to escape to agoraphobic, terrified of her own shadow, to kick-ass heroine in the span of a month.
You're missing something there. You're missing a
Bad writing?
No. You're missing a big piece of the puzzle there. The fact that she also had all this timid, weak person, then also had to witness her sister being murdered right in front of her eyes, which she then, of course, is...
That's part of my bad. I'm getting there.
But I'm just saying, this changes a person. The things that she saw, the things that happened to her, change a person. You either become completely... You either fight back or give in. And... she gives you the impression she's going to give in. In fact, that's the whole reason why it looks like, she's committing suicide at one point. When in actuality, she has decided to push back. She's going to fight back. And that was what they were going for. They were going for the fact that she has hit her lowest low. She's gotten as far as she can, and she's finally reached her limit, which is pretty bad that she had to have all that happen before she finally got to the point where she was willing to fight back.
You failed. Not you. You failed. I didn't buy it for a second. I'm sorry. You cannot change a personality. You cannot change who your core person is. You're either timid and mild or you're kick-ass.
Right.
There's no, again, I don't know. I've never been through a life event. I've never watched my sister get her throat slit. But I'm also not a timid field mouse. I don't see how somebody can go from believably now over a progression of a lifetime. Maybe you start out in first grade and you're shy, and then as you grow, you mature and you become more athletic, or you become okay. But in the span of a month, to go from timid to I got to get out of here because I fear for my safety, that's a human need, that may overpower that timidness long enough for you to get the hell out because I'm going to die. But then become agoraphobic, where you literally can't take more than a step off the porch, to go in where I'm going to fight back. Bullshit. And you're expecting me to believe this guy's this total controlling asshole, but you've shown me nothing. You've told me. You haven't shown me.
Depending on, they're trying to be subtle with the showing, with all the cameras and with all the security.
That's my last and final bad. Her acting, dude, with what she got, the story she told with her eyes and everything else.
Okay.
Nuts on.
I'm glad we cleared that up, because
the acting wasn't the issue.
I thought you meant
character.
I thought you meant acting when you said
the
that.
writing.
Okay, the writing. Okay.
Yeah. No, her acting was fine.
Yeah.
With what she had.
Yeah. I thought she did great. Yeah.
Yep.
Very happy with her. All right. What's your other bad?
Oh no, that's the ugly.
Oh,
I talked about the villain. Didn't buy him for a second. The sister was absolutely useless.
You were saying about show don't tell. The one thing I didn't like was that they weren't really showing what the issue was between the sisters, because there was some bad blood between the sisters, but they didn't really go into great detail, did they?
The only hint they give is she says when the sister comes over to visit, she makes a comment, "Oh, you're still trying to control me."
Yeah, exactly.
That was the only hint that was dropped.
Yeah, there was something going on with the sister, but I never really figured out what that was. I'm wondering if there weren't deleted scenes or something like that, or something like that, because honestly, I never understood. I understood that there was some bad blood between them, but I never understood what it was. And although I personally was forgiving of all the subtlety that they used for showing the villain being controlling and all that stuff, I felt that they were weak on the sister. They really should have showed us more on that relationship for us to believe that. So I disagree with you on the bad guy, but I agree with you on the sister because just.
Well, weak is a good word, but I would use that with the 2 words after it. The writing was weak, and it was. I'm amazed we didn't hear, as you know, 52 times. What is scarier to you? And I don't want to see any woman getting beat, but cerebrally, what is going to make you hate somebody? Them saying to somebody, "Oh, he beat me," or watching him be violent.
Yeah.
You can throw shadows on the wall. You don't have to actually show the physical abuse.
Yeah.
There are ways that you could have filmed it and told us why this girl is what she is. And again, I say this again, this is not my type of film. You're right. Slow burn, hints, dancing lights, not focus on. Look here. Here's the story, but we're going to show you this.
Right.
So again, audience, I want to say, this is coming from a person who does not like this type of film.
Right. That's true.
It could, if you're standing out here going, the fat guy doesn't get it, you're right. You're absolutely right. I don't. I'm just trying to be fair.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. So is that all your bad? All right. Well, then we got to move on to the next one. We got to talk about the ugly.
Roll that shit demon.
You and your shit demon, man.
I love the shit demon.
You love your shit demon.
From one of the best movies, in my opinion.
Which I like Dogma, don't get me wrong, but you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people that disagree with you.
Oh, I'm sure there is. And that's fine. That's great.
You know,
The ugly.
right. The ugly.
May I?
Go right ahead, man. You can go right ahead.
I was gonna move the camera like they do, real slow around the room, but I'm not gonna do that to our audience.
Okay.
The cinematography
Okay.
reminded me of a 6th grade science class. In fact, my daughter's 6th grade science class did better.
All right.
It was shaky cam and these slow, irrelevant shots of empty hallways that meant nothing to the movie. It didn't move it. In fact, it brought an already slow grind to a dead stop. And they did it throughout the entire film.
Yeah.
And then when the action came, you didn't care.
Yeah.
When he, spoilers, when the Invisible Man slit his sister's throat, I should have been like, oh, damn! I was more like, something just happened? I didn't care at that point. The big twist at the end, I was so comatose. You've bored me for an hour and 40 minutes. You've told me no story. You've done nothing to engage me but give me an unbelievable heroine. And now I'm supposed to care about your 13 seconds of action.
Yeah.
That's my ugly. Again, not my kind of movie.
There you go. Yeah, I hate to say it, but my ugly is going to be the slow pace. Just the slowness. Because, as I said at the beginning, I had a hard time getting through this. Now, if I had been warned about how slow it was ahead of time, I probably wouldn't have had as hard of a time, but...
How many times did we check the progress bar through a movie? We even almost stopped it.
Yeah.
It was going to come back the next day and finish it.
Because it was slow. Yeah, the thing is, and here's the thing. So you're talking about the cinematography, how they're showing you, like, she's like walking around and then the camera moves away from her and shows like nothing.
Yeah.
And then slowly moves back to
Not
her.
just move, Scott. I'm okay with that. Your paranormal activity is what you're doing. But it's the fact that it wasn't even a slow crane shot. That you could see the camera shake as the guy was moving it. Motherfucker, you're professionals. Have some pride in yourselves.
I didn't notice that personally, but you know,
I look at thousands of hours of video.
You know cameras better than I do. But
sorry about the rant there.
I'm assuming, and I know at least in one scene anyway, this was the case. It's supposed to be the camera is following the Invisible Man. There's just one small problem with this. He's invisible. And when you have the camera focusing on an invisible man, You are focusing on nothing. And I'm sitting here watching an empty room.
I know how I could have got through this movie now. I should have just pictured him scratching his balls every time they did one of those shots. It was just so much better.
Just sitting there, just scratch his balls, waiting for her to turn around so he can be
He's back.
just making faces at her the whole time.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know this because there's the one scene where she's in the kitchen, she's making breakfast, she leaves, the camera stays on the empty kitchen, but then you see the flames of the pan purposely go up because it's supposed to be the Invisible Man cranking that thing up
Right.
so it can start a fire. So I get that. That's interesting. But the thing is, when there's other scenes where you've got no one in frame at all whatsoever, I'm looking for something on the screen, and I suspect that's exactly what they want you to do. But I'm not seeing anything. If you want to make it subtle, that's fine, but maybe make it a little less subtle, because I'm not seeing anything. I'm looking for something, and I'm not seeing it. And because I'm not seeing anything, I feel like I am staring at a blank screen for no reason. You know, and that was getting aggravating after a while. You know, that was my biggest ugly. Now the thing is that I do disagree with you. One thing I felt that the action actually got me back into the movie. That actually is what got me more interested again. When it gets to the point where she starts stabbing him, and they have a whole scene in the hallway where the cops are trying to fight this Invisible Man, and he's grabbing their guns and he's killing them. I'm like, this is what an Invisible Man movie should be.
You
know?
actually said that.
Yeah, and that is what I was actually hoping more for. And, you know, nothing against slow burn movies. It's just, once again, I wasn't expecting it. And because of that, I was really hoping more for this. And that's why I was completely back into it once that started happening. And then you get the twist at the end. And
I was saving that.
we're going to give it away now, where you're expecting her. Excuse me, she knows it's him. He framed his brother. She knows he did it.
As far as I'm concerned, we're now back into good territory.
Okay.
I didn't say this in the beginning because I want to give people a chance.
Okay.
Here comes the true spoiler, but this is also part of my good.
Yeah. Okay. So she basically goes to see him, knowing he did this, knowing that he's framed his brother, and they make it out that she's there trying to get him to admit to it because she's bugged. She's got the one guy outside who's a cop listening in on the whole conversation, and the guy's too smart for this. He knows, either knows or suspects that she might be wearing a wire or something like that. He will not admit to this at all whatsoever. So she leaves. She goes to the bathroom or whatever like that. And then suddenly he seems to kill himself. Yeah. Exactly the same way her sister died.
Yes.
Why? Because she now has the invisible suit. She is the invisible, woman, actually.
Woman, yes.
Which means that since this is supposed to be possibly the first of the new monster movies, if they decided to continue, that means we've got an Invisible Woman instead of an Invisible Man. She could go on to be the principal character, since she just killed this guy in cold blood. You know, so...
And keep in mind, the Invisible Man is not a hero.
Mm-hmm.
He's never been a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been not Rorschach. But anyway, you get the point.
Yeah, well, he was Invisible Man is one of the old-fashioned Universal Picture monsters, and he, I don't remember if they've ever portrayed him as a good guy.
No,
I mean,
he's always been a selfish, self-centered asshole scientist type.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, who's more, which in some cases he's more concerned with curing himself. In other cases, he's sees himself practically as a god. You know, depending on which one you're watching. So yeah, in the end, she kills a guy in cold blood. And then, of course, the cop realizes that was her plan all along. She didn't think she was going to get the guy to admit to it. She wasn't there to get him to admit to it. She was there to kill the guy. And he goes along with it, even though he doesn't look happy about it at all, which, once again, goes to the good acting, because here's a guy who's a cop. He just witnessed a cold-blooded murder. This does not sit well with him. You can tell. He doesn't say it, but you can tell from the way he's
his
acting.
actions, his eyes. And
he's going along with it.
The gentleman that played him, wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
really great actor.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. Really going along with it because of the ramp up, because of the twist ending. I was completely into the film at that point. It was the slowness before this, and basically the first half of the movie. It's until they get. In fact, I think I really got into it once. When the sister got killed. That's when I really started getting into it. And if they had done more of that at the beginning, I probably would have been happier with it. I'm actually wondering if part of it wasn't budget. Because the thing is that I know they only have so much budget for a film like this. The budget was kind of low on this one. And they've got to have a lot of special effects for the stuff, especially later on. Geez, with the suit glitching out, where it's half there, half not there, and it keeps on. It's like seriously glitching on him. Sometimes you can see him, and sometimes you can't. I imagine that stuff and a lot of the other things that they had in there were not easy. They probably ate up the budget pretty quickly, I think. So maybe that's why. So, but that's about it. I mean, my biggest ugly was the slowness at the beginning. Once it started ramping up, I was completely invested. I was very happy with the film. So for me, the twist ending basically cemented the deal because, as I said, I really was invested up to that point. So, just did a good job of finishing it off for me. But I'd say that's it. I really can't think of any other ugly, honestly.
I found a MacGuffin. That thing we were looking for, it lets us put it down as a cube and it lets us start over everything from the beginning. I'm going to use it now. So my good is the twist. When she comes and he makes him kill himself, that was unbelievable. My bad is the movie didn't start there. My ugly is I want to see her movie.
Yeah.
I want to see her invisible person, woman, whatever story. I want to see her in that badass persona where I am done taking your shit and it's time for me to kick ass. Oh, and by the way, I can become invisible, so screw you men who are abusing. I want to see that story.
Yeah. Honestly, I completely agree. I would like to see where she goes next because with all the stuff that has happened to her, I would not be surprised if she is not mentally stable.
No, I don't know how you would be.
No, it's not possible. And the fact that she killed a guy in cold blood like that and looked pretty happy about it toward the end.
Wouldn't you be?
I wouldn't blame her.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, I would love to see where her story continues. And I'm hoping in a way that I hope they do more of these movies based off the old Universal monsters. I would love to see this become a renaissance of those, them bringing them back. I mean, they were going to do the whole Dark Universe, but boy, did the Mummy torpedo that idea.
And, well, we won't get off on tangents on other films, but I mean, if it would have started with her killing him, explained that he was an asshole that abused her, and then took off from there, that's the invisible. I hate to say Invisible Man, but it's the title of the film. That's the Invisible Man I want to see.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get what you're saying.
So there's my good, my bad, ugly. Okay, I take my MacGuffin back and save it for the next time.
Yeah, save it for next time. All right, so that is that. We got to get some coffee cups out here.
Oh,
I'm gonna have you go first on this one.
I wanted to give it a half a coffee cup, but here's the thing. I know how much work it is for us to do script meeting, and I'm not going to do that. There was thousands of hours of editing and sound, and these actors and actresses had to use their script, so I'm not going to disrespect them like that.
We've seen worse films than this.
Yes.
We've seen movies that deserve a half cup before.
Right,
Yeah.
so I am going to give this 1.5 cups.
Okay. There we go. 1.5 cups. I am giving this easily a 3.5. If it wasn't for the slowness, I would have given it higher.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I don't really see this as a bad movie, and that's why I would still recommend it. It's just that there are certain things in there that could have done better, and the pacing, I'm not a fan of it, and that's my personal opinion, I'm sure other people were so happy with the slow burn because some people love those type of movies, and for those who do, hey, this is right up your alley.
Absolutely.
I think because it's a well done slow burn movie, just could have used a stronger villain, I think, but hey, in a way, we set up a new one.
Yeah.
In fact, that's the best part. If they do continue, and they do have her, guess what? You've got yourself a sympathetic villain because you built it up in the first
You
film.
made her.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Literally made her
this
that
is
perfect Joker.
Yeah,
Not
because-
even Joker, beyond Joker, because you're right. You're going to understand why she's heartless.
Yeah, because of all the stuff she went through this. And if that was the whole point of this, if this was supposed to be, well, this is the origin of the Invisible Woman, hey, kudos to you because that's great.
Yeah.
I just hope
Well, that would change my entire thought on this movie.
Yeah, I just hope they make a sequel or make a movie where she is the Invisible Woman to justify this origin. Because if they do that, I would be very happy with this as an origin movie. I probably still wouldn't watch it again. But at the same time, I'm very glad that I did see it because that's the movie I'm looking forward to seeing.
Absolutely.
Her as the Invisible Woman.
Yep.
So I think that's it.
I hope I didn't piss too many people off.
Well, we'll find out in the comments probably.
Oh, God, will we? I have no idea what's next.
You have no idea what's next?
What movie we're going to watch next? I'm out of ideas. Last two are mine. It's your turn.
I'll figure out something.
We'll figure out something. I know the next script meeting, which will be a week from now, is Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Yep.
Woof.
A classic Disney film.
Woof.
That you didn't care for.
But that's okay.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites from when I was a kid. So I see it with nostalgia glasses on. I absolutely loved the movie as a kid. The funny thing though is it did not do well in theaters when it came out. So
Gee, I wonder why.
so maybe there's more people that agree with you than me on this one. So, but yeah, that'll be our next one, and we'll eventually figure out what we're going to be doing for the next unscripted and mostly harmless.
You'll be able to tell by the thumbnail.
That might be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for me. You got anything else?
I got nothing.
No. Till next time. Laters.
Bye.